right. Um, do you want to do the internet? I mean, Sophia.
Yes. Everyone, this is Myles. He's a project manager with Gorilla Roof Inc. Myles has always liked working with his hands and with people. He used to do roofing maintenance in Florida and was eager to take the next step to a project manager role. Been with Gorilla Roof now for 5 years and personally overseen over 500 roof projects. Outside of work, he loves to fish, hike, snowboard, and travel. Myles, take it away.
Awesome, thank you. So good morning, everybody. As Tracy said, my name is Miles, project manager with Gorilla Roof. Today we're going to be just going over the questions that were sent to me. I had a lot of good questions, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get to all of them, and I didn't put it all in here just because I only have 8 minutes. So if I didn't get to your question, we'll have to connect for a one-to-one. But just to start, the first one I got was the different products that I use on a roof. So these are the main ones you're going to see in Colorado. Obviously, asphalt shingles are the most common. I also put next to them, how many days it takes to do a project. It depends on the size. If we're doing a massive commercial project, it'll be a little more, but that's basically a good gist of how long it'll take. But yeah, asphalt shingles, concrete or clay tiles, stone coated steel is just a type of material that's used. It almost mimics the look of a concrete tile. You have standing seam or corrugated, that's metal roofs for you, and then flat EPDM or TPO roofs. Those are usually commercial. And then also in the picture right there, you can see a wood shake roof. That's a type of material you'll see out there right now, but we're not allowed to install that. So I didn't put it in the left section there, but if you do see a wood shake roof, that's what it looks like. But again, can't install them, so you won't see anybody putting new ones on. Next one, what is the time frame to replace a roof from start to finish? So basically from the initial phone call to the final walkthrough. And so one thing to keep in mind is cash is going to be faster. And what I mean by cash is if I just write a bid and the insurance isn't involved, it's a lot quicker. There's no going back and forth with the insurance company. So basically what we'll do is an initial phone call. I'll come out, do an inspection, get all my notes, write a bid, get a contract signed, and then construction, final walkthrough. That can take between 1 to 3 weeks. Obviously, if material's available, right now material's a little scarce, so it could be more, but if material's on the ground ready to rock and roll, I've done them within a week, and obviously sometimes it take a little longer. And then insurance, it just takes a little more time, so it's a third party involved. So outside of the initial phone call inspection, we have to file a claim. Once I find there's damage on the roof, we'll meet the adjuster on site. I'll go walk them around, show all the damage. Then we have to wait for them to write an estimate and get the insurance paperwork back to us. Once I have that in hand, we can sign a contract. And then we supplement the insurance company for missed items. So that can take some time. And then obviously construction and final walkthrough once all that's finished. Every claim's different. Some take 2 weeks and others I've been fighting for 10 months. It just depends on, it's really just subjected to the claim, and some of the ones that take really long are really intricate and weird claims, so I wouldn't let that scare you. But a good time frame, start to finish, if materials are available. Next question, what are the different services that we offer? And so you guys know I do roof and gutters, but we also specialize in paint, so we can paint the entire exterior of a house or just one side. And then I can also do siding. I've done full siding replacements, and we usually don't do just repairs. But that being said, I have somebody for basically everything. And if it's insurance work, that's different too, because insurance companies will offer what's called overhead and profit to the contractor that's overseeing all the different trades that are being done. And if that's the case, then yeah, we'll take on just about anything, because there's money for us to make, or there's room for us to make money. If it's just a small repair, I'll just usually, refer that to somebody else. So yeah, if you do need somebody basically on anything on the outside of your house, I can either have somebody for it or I can take care of it. What are the worst roofs that I've seen or serviced? And so these are some of the bad ones I've seen in the past couple years. The one on the top left is actually a house in what was that, Highlands Ranch. There was a tornado that came through last year, and that's actually a concrete tile roof. And each tile is between 10 to 15 pounds, and it ripped off the entire ridge of the house, which is just something you don't usually see. That was tornado, obviously. Next one to the right of that's actually just a leak, but it's a pretty severe leak. As you can see, it did a lot of interior damage. The one on the bottom left is, I mean, if you could guess it, it's from a tree. That's a house that was actually from a snowstorm, I think 2 years ago. The weight of the snow ripped off half of a tree. It fell on this lady side of this lady's house, shattered all her solar panels. To the right of that, you can see it's a animal trying to get in there. I believe it's a squirrel, but that was a pretty significant repair we had to do. And then hail, we're in Colorado, so hail's pretty big out here. And so that's a significantly damaged hail roof right there. You can see all the different hits, all the black marks. What's it like working with you? Another version that was, what separates me from other roofers. And to start, I'm established. Gorilla Roof itself's been around for 14, or actually I think it's 15 years. And this is the 5th year for me. So, I classify myself as an expert in the field. I've done hundreds of roofs. I've been through hundreds of claims. Another thing is I'm in it for the long run. I've done repairs for free. And when I say that, we have a minimum, just like most people do, that, if we do any type of work, we have to charge that minimum. But, I go out sometimes and I see, a repair that all it needs is some caulking and I can't justify charging that minimum. So I'll just do it for free. And every time I do something like that, it always comes back to me tenfold. The other thing is you're going to get the truth out of me. I'm not going to steer you in any direction just to make money. I'm not I mean, obviously I want to make money, but I'm not money driven. I'm more client driven. And when I say that, if I do an inspection on your house and I don't think it's worth you filing a claim, I'm going to tell you don't file a claim. Or if I think you have a 50-50 shot of you getting a roof lot from insurance, then I'm going to tell you a 50-50 shot. There's people out there that'll tell you, regardless of if you have hail or not, to file a claim because it doesn't come back on the roofer at all. It just goes back on the homeowner. And then next, if you call or text me, I will almost always get back to you within an hour. Obviously, if I'm out of the country, that changes things, but I'd like to think I'm pretty responsive. Other dramatic differences in the traditional roof shingles. So these are the 3 main types of shingles you see here, 3-tab, architectural, and luxury. There's other ones, but these are the ones that are, the most common. Luxury is another word for like bio-tri-laminate shingle. It's like a thicker grade shingle. Within these 3 different categories, there's class 3 and class 4. Class 4 is just impact resistant. The shingle's made to absorb a hit of a hail a little bit better. With that being said, there's pros and cons to the class 4, pros and cons to the class 3. So, that would take all of my 8 minutes to go through all of that. So I won't dig into that right now. If you want to learn more, I can do a one-to-one with you, but I'm just gonna kick past that. So if you do have further questions, just reach out to me. Some of the natural conversation starters. So these are just some that I, came up with here. One is, hey, when's the last time you had your roof like that? It's pretty generic. And before I go any further, I always want to urge people to get their houses checked at least once, if not twice a year. It's free and couldn't hurt to have somebody take a look at it just to be safe. Another one is, I have a friend that does exterior inspections for free. We saved a lot of people money. There were hundreds and thousands of houses affected by hail last year. If you haven't had your house looked at, give Myles a call. Those are just a few. And so, yeah, free inspections couldn't hurt to have me come out and take a look. Next was, what are some of my business goals for this year and beyond? I'm going to build a sales team of VAs and manage them. I tried to do this last year, but I just got too busy. So I think this year's the year I'll actually put something together with that. I'm going to build relationships with 5 commercial property management companies. I have some built right now, and they're, very strong relationships. They send me off for repairs. Sometimes they turn into roof replacements. So I want to build a few more of those. I plan to sign at least $1.5 million this year, and then long term, I want to be in a position where, hailstorms are relevant. I have a steady flow of business regardless of hail. And I mean, I'm basically there now, but obviously I could always do more. Nextly, how do I help with my client's insurance claim? And the short answer to that is I do everything from start to finish. I do the inspection. I can submit photos if they ask. I meet the adjuster on site, point out all the damage. We have a licensed adjuster that goes back and forth with insurance companies to make sure that everything is covered on your claim. I oversee the project start to finish. So I'm there from the time it starts to the time it ends. And then we submit everything to the carrier for our clients, so they don't have to do anything on the back end, you know, so they'll ask for before and after photos, you know, permits, invoices, and we submit all that for them. And then, I believe this is, no, I have one more slide for this, some of my success stories, so just a couple of them here. The house in the middle right there, that was a house out in Bennett. I went out to the house because an inspection report got flagged, it was for sale. And the buyer's inspector flagged it for not having drip edge. And the problem was that drip edge to replace on the entire house was gonna be between $5,000 and $10,000. But I ended up finding some minor hail damage out there. I told him to file a claim, and I told him on the front end it wasn't, you know, cut and dry, it was a 50-50 shot. But I ended up getting, you know, the entire roof paid for, all the gutters replaced. So the new buyers got to pick, and let me just circle back, the sellers, their deductible was only $1,000. So it saved them, you know, between $4,000 and $9,000. And, you know, the new buyers got to pick the new color of the roof and gutters, everyone was ecstatic, we got it done before closing, it was just one of those cut and dry, you know, textbook cases. Another good success story was back, actually this time of last year. I went out and did a free repair actually for a lady that lived out in Parker. And basically what happens, I got on the roof, I saw a little leak, and I, you know, couldn't justify charging my minimum, which is $710 to do such a small repair. So I just told her I'll do it for her, had the material in the truck. She referred me to two other people in the neighborhood, and then a couple, you know, months later, they got hit by hail, and I ended up getting about 10 roofs in that whole neighborhood from that. So a little success story myself. And then I think 3 years ago, I did that Tire Pro, which was my biggest roof. You can see on the top right, it was a flat EPM commercial roof, or sorry, TPO. And yeah, that was, you know, it's a great project. It took about 2.5 weeks to do it. It was about a $300,000 roof. So that this is just a couple of success stories for you. And then, yeah, any questions? Do you have any questions?
I don't have a question, but I've got a testimonial for Myles. So Myles has done a few roofs for different clients of mine. One recently, we were selling the house, and the roof came back, and he just jumped right on it, took care of everything for my client. This client was a kind of challenging one to keep happy. You know, I mean, he's very detail oriented, and he was just blown away by how Myles did, and Myles made it so they basically didn't have to pay anything. So nice job.
Appreciate it.
I have a question for you, Myles. It's Peter. Do they
Hey,
make class 5 shingle?
I don't believe there's a class 5 shingle, unless that's something new that I haven't heard of. All I know of is a class 4, but I don't believe there's a class 5, and I have to look into that.
Thanks.
All right, with that, let's say thank you for Myles, and of course, schedule a one-to-one with him. You can find his information at www.uniteradio.com.